Zaza, my cousin, and her mom is my aunt. They all left in 48.
Right.
Then things quieted down, and then we had the revolution, and the king was thrown out in 52. 53 came the republic, and well, Nasser came in 53, but 52 the revolution was not Nasser, it was Muhammad Naguib. Anyway, and the king left, and in 56, France, England, and Israel attacked Egypt.
Why?
Because Egypt nationalized the Suez Canal. And so the French and English, who used to be the owners, retaliated, and Israel went into the fold. So all the Jews, the French and the British were thrown out of Egypt. Now, not all the Jews.
Like into the sea, or like?
No, they were thrown out, being they were given between 48 and maybe a month or 2 weeks to leave.
And where did they go?
They went, okay, the British went to England, the French went to France, and the Jews, if they had French nationality, if not, they went to France or Italy and then went to Israel. So some,
And Brooklyn. Don't forget Brooklyn.
No, Brooklyn was not. I didn't go to Brooklyn. You know, France, like my, but she left in 48, so they're not the first. So 56 was a decisive. All my friends that were Jews, etc., British, like Altaras, they went to England. Other people went to Italy, France, etc. Australia. Marcel left in 48. Marcel left in 49 with a youth group called Shomer Atzair, and they went to Marseille, and they got trained, and he was 14 and a half years old.
Oh, hold on. They had to go to France before they could go to Israel, even though it's right beside Egypt.
You couldn't go to Israel directly from Egypt. You couldn't.
So you had to go all the way to France first,
The
and then come back.
borders were
But
closed.
it's like the worst connecting flight ever.
It's crazy.
The food was terrible. The French people are assholes.
It's still hard.
Okay, next. And then in 62, still some Jews were still in Egypt, and a few other. And then in 62, Nasser decided to, let's say, nationalize some more. Bye, birdie.
Yalla.
Anyway, and then he nationalized some of the industries and put, so anybody who had
They
an
took
industry-
Nono's business, right? Didn't they take Nono's business?
Mom's,
Yeah.
I don't know, he had a small store, but for example, Zazi's father had a factory, etc. They put a guardian, and he continues to work, but they put a legal guardian, an Egyptian guy, who makes sure things are done correctly. Anybody who had more than 5,000 acres of land, they took it away. All the pasha, all the big names, all the high people, Egyptian, Muslim, no Muslim, everybody got nationalized.
Okay.
So to redistribute the money. And so at that time, a lot of foreigners left, whether they were expelled or none of them were expelled.
And you left?
No, I left in 66. And even some people stayed. And then in 66, I left to go to the States.
Why?
Because I had a grant. I had a grant from Kansas University. I personally left like a normal citizen. My mother was Jewish French, but my father was Egyptian, so we were not touched.
He was
Egyptian
Coptic.
Jewish or not Egyptian Jewish?
No, my father was Coptic, so he's not that. But he converted.
Call the Copts.
My father converted.
Somebody call the
to
Copts.
Judaism.
Coptics.
That doesn't count. On the birth certificate is Coptic,
Goyish
so
Coptic.
Egyptian.
So you were okay, they didn't bother you.
So that didn't bother me, no. No, on the contrary, I came out and I had enough money to go out with. $2.
But you
at the
gained
time.
20 pounds.
No, and you're right. I went into the.
He has to lose 20 pounds every year.
I went to the Secretary of State, which our neighbor knew very well. Our neighbor was in the government, and he said, "I know you're going to Kansas." And I told him the hairdresser takes $5. It's too much. I take go out with 22. He said, I will give you another 10 pounds. So on my passport, Egyptian passport, I have it, I can show it to you. It says $45. And I came up with my 2 suitcases and went to Kansas. J'étais au Kansas 2 ans. 2 years went to Kansas. I did some studies there and I came to Canada.
What about Germany? Didn't you do a run in Germany?
No, Germany was in 61 and 62. That was a student. I went to work in factories during the summer.
You taught us
Really,
to go to university
What?
in Germany.
No, I didn't go to Germany
Yes, you said
university.
to Heidelberg.
No, Heidelberg, no. I went to visit Heidelberg. J'étais voir Heidelberg just for a visit. I was in Ludwigshafen, Mannheim. Ludwigshafen, Mannheim. Never went to Heidelberg University.
I told
You see what you started?
You told your German in school,
Oh.
in the university. Appris l'allemand à l'université.
What happened? Weren't people missing in Egypt? People were knocking on doors and you wouldn't see your neighbor. The government would take him away.
Yeah,
Or
there
Kamal was
some of
worried.
that.
I remember Kamal.
They all say that, but it's true. It's true. La police secrète.
I love that he claps in his own.
You said, you said, damn the government. Next day, you're not there.
Yeah.
Well, it's
They
not that
disappeared
bad.
you.
They don't go after everybody, but certain people were activists. And they went in jail, and
They
they
certainly
disappeared.
went after the Jews, though.
Eh?
They certainly went after the Jews, though.
No, they didn't. There were very little Jews back then.
80,000. Marcel
The-
said
the-
80,000.
Eh?
Marcel said 80,000.
The 80,000 Jews had left, like there was like
By the
maybe
50s, yeah.
5,000 Jews after 56.
That's
Then-
probably the biggest exodus in the past. I mean,
No, they had also a lot of
70
Jews
years.
in Iraq.
Iraq was a huge.
Lot of Jews in Iraq.
And they left.
Yeah.
I
There
did-
are over
I used to date a girl.
900,000.
Oh, 100,000?
Des
Iraq had a
endroits
huge-
arabes.
900,000 left?
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
more
where'd they
than
go?
more than
all over. Australia, Canada.
from
I dated a girl
from
with parents from
Tunisia,
Baghdad.
Morocco. Look how Morocco they still have
Yeah,
5,000.
Morocco has.
Okay, yeah, le Morocco is on-
in the palace.
He can tell you. He was in the army in Israel. He can tell you everything about Israel.
And BB too.
And BB also.
Everything.
Well, he at 14 and a half, 14 ans et demi, they trained them. And when Shomer Hatzair, and you were in the army, and they sent them to kibbutz, and they worked the land.
Yeah.
And
But BB said it was a really inspiring time. Remember, there was
BB was a
building-
I
communist.
love my Abba.
Yeah.
BB, my friend, was communist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a die-hard
Kibbutz
socialist.
Yeah.
BB, tu l'as rencontré en
The head of the Communist Party, Sikure, was a Jew.
Sikurel, celui de
Absolutely.
Léopolis.
Sikurel's my cousin.
Communist Party.
Oh, there was an Egyptian Communist Party back then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Now you
the
have
head
to
was
remember-
a Jewish
Sikurel
guy.
headed
There
it?
was Jews in the government.
Yeah, we had Jews,
finance
but that's one
minister,
time.
Oh yeah.
The doctor,
course, the
King
finance
Farouk
minister
doctor
was
was Jew. There was Jews in the government in the 20s, in the 10s. And, no, Jews have been in Egypt for 1,000 years. Even those who left, there were lots of Jews. Maimonides
Moses, yeah.
was in Egypt.
Absolutely.
Maimonides, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
he was the
Rambam.
Rambam. He was
Rambam
the
was-
doctor
was
of
in
the court,
Egypt.
the king of Egypt.
He taught
Magazine.
Oh,
They
yeah.
told me, the department stores, lots of Jews in Marché, dans le market.
I don't read
market,
books.
You gotta read
et-
it.
et-
My wife.
et des